Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody's having a fantastical, wonderful weekend. So y'all are wilding out again. Another case, another high-profile case, and everybody is wilding the hell out. Like, relax, okay? Right? Professionals are on it, okay? There's some YouTube sleuthers. You know, I get it. They're throwing around a little bit, like they're asking questions. Okay. I haven't seen anybody make any outright accusations yet, shockingly enough, which tends to happen in high profile cases like this. But now, then again, listen, y'all are going to get mad at me, man. Some of y'all are going to get mad at me again. It's happened more than once where where our friend Mr. Ryan Upchurch likes to involve himself in these cases. And I get it. People are like, hey, man, Glare, why are you always giving that dude a hard time? If, he's a big name, he's got 2 million subscribers, he could put her name out there, he could spread information. Sure. But if it's misinformation, somebody with that many followers, it's harmful. It's harmful. Okay. It's bad. It's not a good thing. All right. Now, I'm not trying to attack the dude. I just listen, man. I got, he's a talented guy. I caught some of his music one time, like a live performance that he played here in Nashville not too long ago. I caught a little video clip of that, and I was like, wow, this dude is really talented. But man, when it comes to true crime, homie, I gotta say, shut up and sing. Sorry, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna explain why. All right. So I know a lot of you what do you guys call yourselves? Creek squads, you Creek squad folk. All right. Nothing against y'all. I'm just letting you know this is why I discuss these things. This is no different than anything else that I've ever discussed on this channel. When people spread misinformation, I try to call them out on it and I try to kind of fix it. So let me guys show you something that he posted here. Mr. Ryan Upchurch, singer, rapper, guitarist extraordinaire. Pull this up real quick. Okay. All right. So as you can see, Ryan Upchurch, he puts this picture up, says picture from the party where Kylie Rodney went missing. Now, he points out a couple of things here. Actually, let me just pull up the post because that's going to be easier because I can't really see the picture. The screenshot doesn't do it justice. But hey, all right. Community. Now I like this. Okay. See, there's nothing wrong with this right here. I'm not just out here trying to attack the dude. Okay. This is him. He's just using his channel. He's got a lot of followers and posts. If you see this little girl, don't lose track of her. Call 911. Let them know and follow her. Film it, put it in the internet. I don't give a fuck. If enough of us are sharp and keep our eyes peeled, we could find her. Also, here's a picture of her missing car. Yeah. See, I like that. Now the thing about this here is, okay, so he also posts this. He says, "This is a picture from the party where Kylie Rodney went missing. It seems the vibe was weird in this photo. Like some people were arguing and some people wanted to get away from the situation. Some were observing and some were trying to intervene." Now, he points out that this person here, I don't know how well you can, let me just full screen this to make this as visible as possible. He points out that this is Kelly Rodney. Now, I texted this picture to a friend and had them take a look at it. And this friend made some very, very interesting observations. So she's supposedly wearing black Vans. This person right here that it says Kelly Rodney, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's towards, you see a girl with blonde hair and a hoodie and just dark clothing on, right? And white shoes. Supposedly she was wearing black Vans, first of all. Second of all, the hoodie that she was wearing had print on it. The hoodie that Kylie was supposedly wearing had print on it. This is not Kylie. She was also wearing baggy Dickies where these look like skinny jeans. So I'm just not, yeah. And it was very quick for this person made this observation extremely quick. I was like, yep, you're right. And it does kind of look weird, like in Ryan's defense, I see people's focus are somewhere else, that looks like they're gathering and their attention is on something, but this is supposedly Kylie, but it's not Kylie. We've just established that. And the point of interest is where everybody's kind of looking, right? So it looks real technical, looks almost forensic, making this observation, good on you, Ryan, or whoever sent this to you. And then these other things say, whole group looking towards the point of interest, which, okay, they are. Also, this people over here looking towards the point of interest, and then people walking away. But I mean, it's a party. People are walking in all kinds of different directions. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's kind of a decent observation. It's just not, you have to kind of think about it in the sense that if there's a party going on, right? If there's a party and the person who the focus of this party is about, right, is missing. Okay. This girl is missing and we think that something happened at this party. So the point of making this picture out right here is basically to say, oh my God, everybody's focused on something. But if that's supposed to be Kylie standing there, then why is she looking at the thing that supposedly happened that resulted in her going missing? Why would she be in the back looking in when she would actually be part of the incident that people seem to be focused on? At least that's what this picture is implying. At least that's what this post is implying. So when you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. This is why, people, shouldn't do too much true crime. What he did, Ryan Upchurch, what he did with this most recent post is the most responsible thing that anybody in his position could possibly do. And I think that's great. Now, one thing that I have to put in perspective here, is so right now there's a lot of back and forth as far as people following this case. There's a lot of back and forth in regards to Sami and Jagger. Sami being the alleged best friend of Kylie and Jagger being the boyfriend that supposedly didn't exist according to Sami, but now is in the picture. So it's very, very strange. You know what I mean? And and I have to address this because this is something that I am very this is what I do on this channel. For the most part, I will call out channels who cover crime cases and just make wild, crazy accusations without any proof or any indication whatsoever. Um, but somebody that I know and who I find very credible um, is being attacked for doing this right now. And make no mistake, whether I was friends with this person or whether, you know, I was cool with this person, doing this blatantly, I would call them out. Doing what she's being accused of doing, I would call them out just as quickly. I might do it more respectfully towards somebody, depending on how much I respect them versus another person. That's true. I am quite rough around the edges in the way that I do things sometimes. But this, what people are talking about here, let me pull this up real quick. So here's a tweet screenshot here. Y'all see what that says? How do we shut down 10 to life? They're the worst. Uh she's a gross person. I don't know, hoping Jagger files a defamation suit against her. And then there's this comment: who is arguing that people are focusing on these kids like Sami and Jagger because they are the only characters in the play that have come forward. Very interesting that they put it that way. So people just start attacking their every move. It's low level shit. The YouTube channels push it to make money like 10 to life. That's not what is going on there. I would even if Annie were doing something that I disagreed with, I would not be in her chat helping moderate it. She has a lot of people in her chat, and what she's doing, if you go and you watch her videos, and if you are capable of critical thinking, okay, then you would see that what she is doing is asking questions. She sees things that she sees as red flags. Now, I may not see those things as red flags, and you may not see those things as red flags, but they can be construed as red flags. There's no doubt about it, because there are inconsistencies. And these inconsistencies raise questions. Annie has merely been asking those questions. So there's a big difference between people spreading misinformation as if it's fact, like that picture, right? Like that picture that I showed that was posted by Ryan Upchurch. There's a big difference between that and making that come off as fact and then simply asking questions. Okay? Simply going, what? Okay, that I find this weird. Like, you're going to tell me, people, you're going to tell me. Now, I'll explain where we can split that even, but let me get there first. Why does Kylie not follow her best friend who is currently leading this search, right? As far as volunteers go, as far as civilians go, she's leading the search, right? So why doesn't she follow her on Instagram? And why does she say that she doesn't have a boyfriend, but the guy who claims to be her boyfriend, she follows him and he follows her? So Jagger and Sami follow each other, but for some reason, Sami isn't followed by Kylie, her best friend. That raises questions. That's a little weird. That is kind of hinky, as it were. Okay. But Now, me personally, I'm the guy that I've told you 100 million times that I think on these things already as if a juror would. I like to think of myself as a juror, right? So I look at things that the defense, if this were in court right now, I look at things and I take them with a grain of salt because I will apply what I think a defense attorney would throw at that, right? You know? So granted, it's just a question, but I would be the kind of person that would just be like, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe they just stopped following her for some reason, or a bot did it, or God knows what. Who knows? But that doesn't change the fact that it merits a question. Does it not? Is it not strange? So you can't deny the fact that it's strange. That's all Annie's been saying. This stuff seems weird to me, right? I think she posted something. Let me do this real quick. I think she posted something. Okay. Now there's this. Okay. I'm sure she's going to talk about this the next time she goes live, but she posted this on YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and show it. So it says, disclaimer, this has not been confirmed by LE. Okay. Right there. That's the responsible way to deliver speculation. Okay. This has not been confirmed by LE, but I did my due diligence and confirmed this does exist and is registered with the government. In today's press conference, it was said that the adults in the community are trying to discourage the kids from coming forward. Why? Okay. I guess I don't know what that word is. An anonymous tip after yesterday's live stream regarding Sami's family. So somebody gave her a tip about Sami's family, and she looked into it, and then she posted this. There's been a lot of speculation about Sami's version of events from the start. Well, through this tip and verifying it, I discovered that Sami's mother is a former attorney and currently owns a private investigation firm in Truckee alongside her husband. The business does in fact exist, but the exact roles are unclear. It is rumored that the husband is the PI and the mother is the attorney and also assists TBD, who does what for the business specifically. Additionally, on some, not all government sites, it's described as an EEO consulting firm, but the NAICS listed is 561611. The name of the company has private investigations in the company name. Now, notice that she did not post the company name. All right. She's not doxing anybody. She's not, she's just pointing out something is kind of weird here, which I'll give my thoughts on that. If her mother is an attorney and her parents have a private investigation firm, why is her 18-year-old daughter running the search? Is that not a valid question, people? I mean, it doesn't even imply anything. It's just it's a valid question. Why the fuck is this girl so public? I have my speculation on that. And I don't even know what Annie's opinion is on this. All I know is that she's asking questions, but so far she's not asking any questions that don't merit being asked. So why is her 18-year-old daughter running this search? Why isn't their company aiding in the search efforts, given she has resources and is in the field professionally? Not only would their knowledge and experience help the search efforts, but conversely, their experience would provide insight to Sami, either directly or indirectly, on how to possibly hide, evade, protect information, not only legally, given her mother's law degree, but with their experience as a PI and the strategies that go along with that. I have forwarded this to necessary parties as a precaution. Please do not flood up tip lines or inboxes with this information. Please do not contact anyone mentioned in this post, and please do not publicly comment their business name if you are aware of it. I left the business name out as it is registered to their home address, and I don't want anyone, capitalized, being doxxed. Edit to add. It has not been confirmed their company is helping the search efforts or not. They might be, and we may just not know. Okay? So, people, a more responsible post could not have been written. I mean, first of all, is that not a valid question to ask? If her mother owns a PI company, a private investigating firm, as well as she's an attorney, then why is their 18-year-old daughter stuck in the spotlight? And why is she in the spotlight so much? And why is she the face of the investigation? It doesn't really make sense. Why isn't the company involving themselves? Why aren't they helping with the search? I mean, they might be, according to that post. We just don't know if they are or not. But if they are not, why wouldn't they be? Why the 18-year-old daughter? You see what I'm saying? You see what Annie's saying there? Annie's not making any type of accusations. She's not even insinuating anything. She's simply asking questions. People, I don't attack creators for speculating and doing it responsibly, where they give disclaimers and they say, look, I'm not saying nothing here. I just find this particular detail of this case odd. And I'd like an answer to it at some point. At no point is she saying, oh my God, she's totally guilty of something. I don't know. She just looks, she's not doing that either. I've seen people in chats doing it. Sure. And yes, there are people that think that Sami is somehow involved. And what's funny is I actually agree with that tweet. I just don't think it's right to blame Annie for it, is all I'm saying. And I'm not Annie's white knight here. She doesn't need me to defend her. I'm actually up here just this is my own version of a disclaimer. This is my own, because I can fucking see it now. I can already see it now. Oh, well, Will, you're always calling out these creators who accuse people of being guilty of something before there's any evidence and blah, blah, blah. Before you all start saying that shit and then going, oh, well, why aren't you calling Annie out, huh? Why aren't you calling out 10 to Life, huh? Huh, Glare? You pick and choose. Like, no, dude. I'm telling you, Annie's not doing what I call people out on doing. So before you all start your bullshit with that, I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. And I'm explaining to you as to why it's not happening. Because I don't know how many times I've gone over BHB, MGL, all these other creators. I can't tell you how many times I've called them out for simply just not even, like, why not just put up a disclaimer? Like, okay, you've got a theory. All right. But when you sit there and push that theory like it's fact because you want to be right so bad, that's what I'm calling you out on. Because then all of a sudden it builds a narrative that this person is absolutely guilty of something. But she's not doing anything. She's just saying this is weird. You're going to fucking tell me that you don't find it weird that an 18-year-old girl is the face of this entire thing? Now, I don't know what Annie's opinions are on this. I'll share my opinion so far. My opinion is simple. That girl likes attention. I don't know if she was involved in what happened to Kylie. I have no idea. No clue. None whatsoever. I don't have any idea. But I do know that it's a bizarre situation, which is probably part of the reason why it's getting so much press. It's bizarre. Why is this 18-year-old girl heading up this investigation? Why isn't law enforcement going on these press conferences saying, I don't know nothing about that. So as long as she's up there doing that and saying, we're doing this, me and the investigators, we're doing this and we're doing that to find Kylie, and they're not disputing it, well, then it's making it seem weirder and weirder to logical adults who think that it's odd that a law enforcement agency wouldn't be a law enforcement spokesperson wouldn't be the major face of the entire thing. A professional trained in finding missing people, right? That right there, that it's an 18-year-old girl instead, it's odd. It's very strange that she's inserted herself into this position in the press and in the public, and everybody seems to just love her for it. Oh, Sammy's an angel. She's in front of crowds with a mic, telling people to come see her and talk to her. When what you should be doing is telling people, hey, this is the spokesperson for this particular law enforcement agency that's heading up the investigation. You need to speak directly to them. And I understand being like, all right, well, they're afraid to talk to cops, but since they're afraid to come to, but they have enough. I mean, these people at this party have enough common sense. They know her better than they know anybody else. And that doesn't mean that they trust her to come and confide in her. For all we know, she's not very well liked. Because just because you're popular doesn't mean that everybody likes you. You know what I mean? Some people feel like they have to like you in order to fit in with a certain clique. But behind your back, they're going, God, she is such a see you next Tuesday. Oh, I can't stand her. Who knows what these high school people are like, dude? Who knows? Who knows what the dynamic between these high school people are like? Who knows what type of level of popularity she has in her little clique? Who knows if she even knows Kylie as well as she says she does? I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm saying, why is this 18-year-old girl, when we don't really know, what the nature of their relationship really is, and she's the spokesperson in front of every camera? And you're going to attack a creator for asking that question? That doesn't make sense. I'm not going to attack a creator for asking that question. You know what I mean? It's a valid question. Many valid questions. And if so, again, why isn't her mom and stepdads or dads, I don't know what that situation is, but why, if they own a PI company, what the hell? If they own a PI company, why are they not directly involved, or at least publicly? You know what I mean? I mean, it's good publicity because it's almost safe to assume, people. It's almost safe to assume that if they were involved in the search, right? And if they were, obviously if this is Sammy's mom that owns this PI company, right? This PI firm, well, I mean, wouldn't they use this publicity to blow up their business? You know what I mean? Wouldn't they say, hey, we're from this company, blah, 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 and we are helping with this search. We're using all our resources right now, and we're volunteering our free time. That when we're not working for clients, we're volunteering our free time to help with this. That's only good publicity. I mean, in Truckee, California, I would imagine, or Truckee, Nevada, whichever one it is it California or Nevada or Nevada? Because I know they're near Northern California. But I think Truckee's in California. I don't even know. I know Nevada City is in California, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. But they live in this town called Truckee. Yeah, California. That's what I thought. They live in this town called Truckee. I doubt that it's a big town. I've never heard of this town until this particular situation. But I would imagine that they would jump all over the chance to advertise their business, to use such a high profile case to build their business. So I feel like it's safe to speculate that they're not involved in the search based on that. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying it's kind of safe to lean towards the likelihood that they're not, simply because if they were, they would be very public. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm just of the opinion, like, and then there's a comment that they hope Jagger can sue for defamation. Like, she didn't defame anybody. She simply said, well, is he her boyfriend or not? Perfectly valid question considering the information that we've been getting. Perfectly valid question. So silly, man. It's so silly. Well, yeah, if they're best friends, how are they not following each other on IG? It's weird. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to agree with every creator. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I almost never agree with Annie on cases. Like, almost never. Dude, we disagreed on what was the last thing that she was we disagree on the Summer Wells case, fundamental things. We disagree on that. We disagreed on the Morphew thing, which is kind of looking like I was right in the first place. But we disagreed on the Morphew thing. You know, I think the only case that we ever fully agreed on, like as far as all the details, as far as our opinions of everybody else that was involved, or you know, indirectly involved, you know, I think the only thing that we ever agreed on fully was the Gannon stock case. So I mean, like, that's what adults do. You know, you can disagree without wanting to attack the person. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. Do I think that this 18-year-old girl should be getting all the shit that she's getting? No, she's 18. Do I think that she's just looking for attention? Absolutely. I don't know if it's just that she's looking for attention, but she's definitely enjoying the attention. She's definitely enjoying it. I don't care what anybody says. She's clearly enjoying the attention. So, but does it make her deserving of the scrutiny that she's getting online from people? No. No. You know, I mean, because she's 18. I don't think that she thought it through. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, if I think that she's a crime fan. You know, one of those people, one of those girls that watch ID and listens to true crime podcasts, and you know, I I believe that. I think that she's definitely one of those. Um, she talks like she's in one of those. She talks like she's in a documentary of true crime. She watches all the Netflix true crime documentaries, and she talks like she's being interviewed for one of them. Uh, and and she's smiling, and she's it's she's enjoying the attention. I'm not seeing someone who's distraught by their friend missing. I'm not saying that I'm not seeing somebody who's not doing anything about it. I'm not saying that she's not doing anything about it. What I'm saying is I'm not seeing someone who is typically worried about their friend, you know. um I mean, the last time we saw this, okay, the last time we saw this, and I don't remember the names. Remember the Instagram model that got killed, right? The Instagram model that got killed, and she was really really popular. And she had some big buff boyfriend that was all tattooed, and everybody suspected him. And then and then there was her best friend that they met each other on Bumble Buddy or something like that. It's where like you use Bumble, it's a dating app, or Bumble BFF, right? Where you can find just a platonic friend through that same app. Um but that girl was doing interviews with YouTubers and all kinds of stuff, and and people were all suspecting her of something, you know, but she knew better. You know what I mean? She's older. She knows better. This is just an 18-year-old kid. I think that she just like was overwhelmed with the attention. It's a small town. Alexis Sharkey, that's her name. Thank you very much, SV. I wonder what happened with that. Let's look that up. Yeah, that's right. That dude, he ended up killing himself. This was back in October of last year. This is almost a year ago. Yeah, so they were already ready to arrest this dude for murdering his wife. There was already reports of him being abusive. Uh Curious though. Yeah, I mean, nothing ever came of the friend that was doing all the speaking in public regarding her case. She never got charged with anything. Was her behavior a little weird? Yeah. Yeah. But she never got charged with anything. But I mean, when we only have so much to explore in a case, when there's a case that like this and it's high profile and everybody's talking about it, you know what I mean? When there's a case like this, anything that is made available to you is going to be subject to questioning by any type of person that considers themselves even remotely a critical thinker. So, you know, what we have available is somebody who decided to make themselves extremely public, and Annie's doing what she does. She asks questions, So before you all start with glare, how come you're not calling her out on doing this and doing that? Well, because she's not doing those things. She's simply not. So, yeah, everybody was tearing that girl up. That friend of Alexis Sharkey, everybody was tearing that girl up in the in every chat and forum. And Yeah, and she even did that. She said you should contact law enforcement. At the end of that interview, or at the last part that I showed, she was saying to contact law enforcement. So do I think there's anything suspicious about this girl? No, not yet. Not yet. No, I don't. No, I do not. Um, I think she's an 18-year-old girl who loves attention. And I think that she um is just going to talk and talk, and because she's inconsistent in the things that she says does not necessarily mean that she's a liar and that she's covering something or hiding something. um what it means to me is, at least until I have proof otherwise, what it means to me is that she's just an 18-year-old kid who loves the sound of her own voice and is going to talk out of her ass from time to time because she's enjoying the attention and she's thinking about the camera more than she's thinking about what's coming out of her face when she talks. Personally, that's my opinion as of now. Until there's more, my opinion could change. But that's the thing, is you can, when these questions are raised, why the inconsistencies? Why an 18-year-old girl instead of the private detective that agency that she has would in her immediate home? Why the social media inconsistencies? You know what I mean? These are questions that are asked, and they're up to you to explore and up to you to form an opinion. Nobody's influencing your opinion. Nobody's influencing my opinion. These questions were asked, and I was able to go, okay, well, I mean, I don't see any reason to think that it's any worse than just some kid who just loves the sound of her own voice, likes to see herself on camera smiling, loves to be the center of attention. So that's all I got out of that. I mean, but that's my opinion based on those questions that were asked. I explored those questions in my mind, and that's the conclusion that I have come to as of now until more information becomes made available. That's it. What's up, bees knees? I mean, I don't know who did anything. One thing I do know, I will be clear about this. One thing that I do know is the answers are at that party. The answer to whatever happened to Kylie is at that party. That's where you're going to find the answer. Like the picture that was posted there that Ryan Upchurch posted. Okay, it's a picture of the party. Cool, but it's not what it's labeled as. Cherry, if she was just trying to find her friend, she wouldn't need to be on camera so much. I mean, but the the whole thing with that picture that Upchurch posted, that's misinformation. What if somebody could be made out into that picture? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if somebody goes, "Hey, I know that dude, and I heard that he did something to somebody else and blah blah blah." Excuse me. And that's what that person's whole personality is defined on, their character's defined on. And then all of a sudden, just because that person shows up in that picture, and then this person's past gets dragged on social media because he's pointed out in this picture and he's a minor. What happens then? When that minor, all of a sudden something comes up, somebody spreads some false rumor about that kid, and then all of a sudden everybody just starts perpetuating this thing when it's actually nothing, but everybody's like all of a sudden talking about it like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Well, I heard that he killed a cat when he was like 7 years old. There was always something wrong with that kid. And he just happened to be in that picture. You know what I mean? And then now all of a sudden, there's going to be these trash, like there's going to be these crazy tweets. And then next thing you know, Plunder's making a video. Yes. You know what I mean? Like that's how shit happens. It's ridiculous. I mean, well, Matt Bond, that's that's the whole thing, as everybody knows that's what's going on. Um, and that's the capacity, I guess. Like, but that's the thing is wouldn't Sami be more effective in that capacity if she wasn't so public, if she wasn't so in the spotlight? If she was just behind the scenes, couldn't she actually be more likely to collect information if she was behind the scenes going, so you were at the party? Oh, so what happened? You know, like, I mean, this is just me. It's just me and you here. You know, tell me what happened. Wouldn't that be more effective in collecting information? Wouldn't that be a more effective method rather than going on a microphone and going, hey, I'm right there in that trailer. So if anybody, and look, this is what I look like. Anybody who wants to come see me and talk to me, because I know how hard it could be to talk to your parents. I know how hard it can be to talk to law enforcement because you might have been drinking or doing drugs. And even if you're an adult who brought the drugs, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can come talk to me. That's going to just make people automatically kind of go, you know what? I'm good. Mona Lisa, good point. I mean, she's not a genius, but that's what I'm saying. She's 18. It's perfectly natural for an 18-year-old in the year 2022 to be an attention-starved person, to want social media fame and attention. It is perfectly natural. It is something that they all seem to strive for. At 18 years old, it is perfectly natural for you to want social media notoriety. But that's what I'm saying is, so all I'm saying is don't tell me that she's not an attention-starved person. She loves the attention that she's getting. Don't tell me she's not, because it's clear that she is. Because again, I mean, maybe she's not a genius yet, but she's 18. She's smart. And if she was really trying to find her friend over getting attention, well, then she would have taken more tactical means about finding her. Not just, hey, like behind the scenes, it would have made more sense to just, hey, listen, if you hear anything, like anything, come to me, talk to me. All right. Nobody has to know, just you and me. I would be individually doing that, just going up to people that I've sat there and had 20-minute conversations with during lunch, whatever. Anybody wired into the clicks with the older crowd, I would be talking to them on the down low. Yeah, SV, that's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing somebody who's sick with worry. That's not an, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I get it. People deal with grief and worry in their own way. I understand that. I'm not dismissing that, but it's a valid observation though, isn't it? It's a valid observation. that she does not seem at all distraught at all. Yeah, well, that's why I don't agree with it, Cherry. Cherry's like being vocal and upfront means more people know she's available and more people know they can come forward. Yeah, they know it in theory that they can come forward, but the second they decide to start coming up with excuses as to not do so, they're going to come up with plenty. She's too close to the cops. She's talking to the cops. She's claiming to be working with the cops. So what's the difference between me going to the cops and going to her? Fuck that. I'm not going to go to her. Where it would be more effective if nope, she didn't blast that she was talking to the cops all the time. It'd be much more effective to get people to talk. Right? There you'd be surprised how smart an 18-year-old can be. I mean, I'm listening to that girl talk. I see an intelligent person. I see a person capable of having enough common sense that she would get more people to talk if she was more private about it and more one-on-one, more intimate about it with each individual person that she spoke to instead of speaking on a mass level. She's smart enough. I don't care what you say. I could tell by her vocabulary. I could tell. And that's the thing. Yes, she doesn't seem distraught, but I don't think that that makes her suspicious of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not suspicious of the girl. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with her because I don't think that it's necessary to bring that much attention to yourself. Um but I'm not suspicious of her. I will honestly say that. I am in no way shape or form suspicious that Sami had anything to do with Kylie's disappearance. Um, and then she's putting on this whole show now to cover it up. And I mean, that's a little too much. It's a little far fetched. So people who are jumping to that conclusion, I can't get on board with you on that. I just can't. It's not realistic. It's too far fetched. Um, and we've seen worse. We've seen things that were less believable. You know, I mean, who would have thought that Heidi Broussard's pregnant buddy, Megan Faramuska, would be faking a pregnancy for 9 months and then kill her and take her baby to cover up the fact that she was lying about carrying a baby. Nobody would have ever thought that that would have happened. Nobody thought that that was the case. Nobody suspected it. Nobody came, the idea never came into anybody's mind. You were either thinking it was Shane Carey or some random person. That's how you thought that case was going down. It was either Shane Carey, who it turned out it wasn't, or some random person. Buttercup baby, you're saying, why didn't she drive her friend home? Well, she got a ride. From what I understand, Sami got a ride with somebody else. She says that she didn't want to ride with Kylie because Kylie seemed too drunk. And then later on got a ride. Um, except she has privated her socials and deleted multiple stuff from them due to horrible comments when her account was public. Yeah, I don't blame her. But that's kind of her own fault. You know, that's kind of her own fault. You know, I mean, you don't Well, you think that you're just gonna be uh you know miss miss missing Kylie, I mean that's what you're gonna be. You're gonna wear a sash that says missing Kylie Rodney and wave to people off of a float. Like, did you think that that was what was going to happen when you decided to stick your face in front of every camera and smile? Like, come on. No. So I mean, and nobody understands how social media works better than an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, who does? You're going to tell me that an 18-year-old doesn't know how nasty comments work and what brings on nasty comments? You're going to tell me that an 18-year-old doesn't know that better than anybody here in this chat right now? Sherry's getting so mad. I'm not attacking this girl, man. You guys, Jesus Christ. Dude, I am not attacking this girl. I'm merely pointing out things like, you know, there's certain things like, I mean, she doesn't deserve to be praised. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't deserve to be attacked, but I'm not attacking her. I'm simply pointing out simple observations. Like, dude, you do not. You're going to tell me that an 18-year-old doesn't know how social media works, and then she's going to be all shocked and surprised because here she was thinking that she was going to be praised, and everybody was going to be like, "Oh my God, Sami, you are such a special best friend," putting out all of this information to all of social media and giving these interviews and talking to this person and talking to that person. You're a saint, Sami. Of course, she's going to get some of that. But if you're going to get that, guess what? You're going to get some hate too. Especially if your best friend is missing. You don't think of that shit? Oh my God, I can't believe they're attacking me. Well, dude, people are fucking stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you of all people should know how social media works. You of all people should know how social media works. I mean, you're 18 years old. You're trying to use social media to find your friend. But you're going to tell me that you're shocked and surprised that you decided to get in front of every camera and now you got to delete your social media accounts because of all the hateful comments that you're getting. You think those hateful comments were going to come along with your praise? No, that tells me that somebody was more interested in the attention that they were getting than anything else because they were just blinded by the positivity that you're going to get out of just getting all of that attention. When you are craving that type of popularity, you're not thinking about the hate. Nobody ever does. And then when it happens, they're like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I never said, see, Cherry, that's disappointing, okay? Because I'm not saying that she deserves it. I'm saying she should have saw it coming. She should have been more careful. She's the one who put herself out there. There's no denying that. And the fact is, Don and Candace, they don't deserve the shit that they've gotten either. I don't believe that. I don't believe Don and Candace deserve the shit they've gotten either. But haven't we all been very vocal about the fact that we're like, dude, the problem is that they're too fucking active on social media. They should expect this shit at this point. They should have saw this coming. Candace was fine when she wasn't talking to anybody. And then what happens? So don't sit here and say that anybody up here, at least not me, I'm not up here saying that anybody deserves to have hateful comments made and being attacked online. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying though is she is smart enough to know better. The person that I hear talking is perfectly intelligent enough to know better and to know that and what that tells me is somebody of that intelligence who is not expecting hatred to come to her, well, then that's just because she was too occupied with the idea of being loved by the public. So yes, do I think that this person is looking for attention? Yes. Do I think that they're happy and enjoying it now that they found it? Yes. Do I think that they are shocked at any hatred that they're getting due to that? Yes. But she shouldn't be shocked, is my point. Shouldn't be shocked. And I think that she wants her friend found too. I'm saying that she allowed herself to get drunk on the attention that she was getting. That got in the way of that. Because, like I said, somebody of her intelligence, if she was more concerned with that than finding her friend, and I'm not saying she had anything to do with her friend being disappeared. I'm not even implying that. What I'm saying is, if she was a person of her intelligence, she would have not gone so public. She would have simply approached the situation. She would have said, law enforcement, I want to help in any way that I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a few questions here and there on the down low, just nonchalant, because I don't want to scare anybody off or freak them out. Because of course, if she's sitting there claiming that she's working alongside law enforcement and then says, hey, come to me, you don't have to go to the cops, but you can come to me. If you don't feel comfortable going to them, you can come to me. Well, then, I mean, everything screams that she's just going to go to the cops with anything that they tell her. But if she had done this behind the scenes and not gotten so public and been like, I'm Sami, I am her best friend, and blah, 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 and just smiling, you know what I mean? Like, she would have gotten better results. People would have been more comfortable coming up to her and being like, dude, listen, man, don't tell nobody. But I saw this dude acting real shady, and he was doing this and he was doing that. And I saw Kylie, she looked scared, blah, blah, blah. Anything like that. But nobody's going to do that now. See, man, oh God. It's not a question of smarts. It's a question of selfishness. Okay. If is it really shocking that if I'm sitting here talking about somebody who just loves attention that much, she was obviously getting attention from someplace that she wanted, that took priority over her making sure that her friend got home safe. And since when was it her responsibility necessarily? People are putting that on her like they created a buddy system and they were like, no matter what, okay, neither one of us goes home without making sure. And then you text me and blah, 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 blah. And I have a screenshot of the Uber and this and that. Like, nobody said that was something that they agreed on. The last I checked, this was just a bunch of irresponsible shithead kids who got together at a party and got fucked up. Like irresponsible shithead kids do. That's what they do. Oh, look at you guys. Oh, she's such a great friend. Like all sarcastic, such a great friend. Like, no, man. That doesn't mean like, yeah, a great friend would make sure. A great friend would go above and beyond. But that's not her responsibility. That's not her mom. That's not her sister. They're friends, sure. But maybe she figured Kylie could take care of herself just fine. Why does she have to be the designated person responsible for her? Now, again, that's another thing that's making her look bad, because because this is the thing. If you're this person who's heading up a search, you're only 18 years old and you're heading up a search for a 16-year-old missing girl, and you're working side by side, shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement and professionals that are trained to do it, and you're working day in and day out, and you're not getting any sleep, and you've been up this long, and you've been doing this, and you've been doing that. Well, I mean, if you're that person to go above and beyond for your friend after they go missing, it's not unfair to say that you're expected to be the type of friend that would go above and beyond to make sure she doesn't go missing. So that's where that hatred is coming from. That's the way that I see it. I'm not saying that that's my opinion. My opinion is it's none of her fucking business. You know what I mean? Like they're a bunch of kids at a party, and they're there to have a good time, not to make sure that their friend has a good time. Unless they brought them to the party because they were being all, just broody and just, I don't want to do anything. And they're like, no, you need to come out. Let's have a party. Then you're kind of responsible for that person. But if you're like meeting up at the party, are you going to be there? Yeah, I'm going to be there. Oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, she's not responsible for her. She's not. But I'm saying it's not an unreasonable thing for people to get upset and have a standard for her if she's going to, like I said. So I could see people being like, well, some friend, but only because she's in the limelight acting like she is heading up everything. She's the Kylie go-to person, right? So if she's going above and beyond the call of duty as a best friend after she goes missing, it's not unfair for some people to have to hold her to the standard to be that friend to prevent her from going missing. That's all I'm saying. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, but I understand it. I absolutely understand it. I don't blame anybody for thinking that. Right. And a lot of other friend groups are tight like that days, Mandy. You're right. But there's a lot of people that are just a lot of, dude, in Miami, it was like that. You'd be lucky if there was one person that was like, dude, are you okay? And if they're going to do that with a girl, it's because they were hoping to get laid. But most of the time, people are just looking out for themselves. Guilt for what? What's she experiencing guilt for? Because she didn't make sure she got home safe? Maybe that's why she's going above and beyond now. Let me see this. I don't think Will can appreciate the vulnerability inherent in being female. I have probably spent 10 to 20% of my life worrying about and trying to avoid being assaulted. Of course I can appreciate that. That's a little insulting that you would think that I wouldn't. I've always been very protective of my female friends. When I was in high school, I was the kid. I was the shoulder to cry on. I was the one that was like, hey, that dude looks shady. That dude's gonna fucking rape you. Don't go in that guy's car. I was that kid. So yes, I absolutely understand and appreciate the vulnerability that comes with being a female. I absolutely understand that. But again, she should have gone with somebody that could protect her. I mean, and I'm not putting the blame on her. What I'm saying is the the smart thing, the responsible thing for a kid her age to do was first of all, not drink and drive. It's the first thing they teach you when you first get your license. And she recently got her license. She was only 16. Uh, when she's only 16, so she recently was driving. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, you don't think that her mom gave her the lecture? She even lied to her mom. She said she was the designated driver and that's why she was going to be late. She had her curfew extended because she told her mom, she lied to her mom and said, I'm going to be the designated driver, when in fact she was drunk very quickly, according to her friends, very quickly once she arrived to the party. Kelly Green, besides Sami, that would be some guy that the Sun interviewed. I read that the last time I went live. Some guy that the U.S. Sun interviewed, and apparently he had a cousin that went to the party, so it was like hearsay of hearsay. So take that with a half a grain of salt. And it's the Sun, by the way, which is basically a tabloid asswipe. But this guy said that his cousin was at the party and he was basically telling what the cousin saw and how the cousin described it to him. And they were older men. I mean, everybody at that party was intoxicated, I bet. Dude, there were never designated drivers. Like, very rarely did I ever attend a party where somebody was actually the designated driver. Like, people, it was almost just expected that you just didn't get too drunk. Like, obviously you go to your homie and you go, hey man, are you all right to drive? And then your homie goes, yeah, dude, I'm good. And if they seem good, and you've driven in cars with them many times, and I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm saying this is what takes place when you're young and you attend parties like this. I'm saying it's absolutely irresponsible, but that's how there was no designated driver. Unless your parents like organized a designated driver for you and said, hey, you're going to be the designated driver, or I'm coming here to pick you up at this time. Get as drunk as you want, have a good time, but I'm going to be here at this time to pick you up. I don't want you getting in anybody's car. But it's a little more difficult. It's a little more difficult when it's your kid that lies directly to you, and says that they're the designated driver because you want to trust your kid. The way it was with me, my son was a teenager. He was living with me. And my whole thing was you have responsibilities and you have trust until you violate that trust. Like, I'm going to treat you like an adult to begin with. And then when you show me that you can't handle it is when I start taking privileges away. But I'm guessing that was kind of the similar system, if not the same, in Kylie's household. So, I mean, right, Odessa. I mean, Kylie was supposed to be the designated driver. Can't blame Sami for not getting in the car with her. Now, of course, this is, Sami's word. You know what I mean? Yeah, I called my brother one time. I was living with my brother in Columbus, Georgia, and there was this. I was 21 at the time. Yeah, I was 21. So, in Columbus, Georgia is where Fort Benning is. So a lot of army people. So I'd hang out with these army guys at this strip club, hung out with them all the time. And one time, the thing was, is pitchers of beer were really cheap there. You didn't really go there because it was a strip club. You went there because it was like, ironically, crazily, because usually strip clubs have ridiculously priced alcohol, whereas this one, the beer was like super cheap. So I drank a lot of beer one night, and the DJ was buying me shots, and it was just a really, really debaucherous night. And I remember I got in my car, turned it on, pulled out into the main road, and then pulled back into the parking lot through the other side and got on a payphone and called my brother. And I was like, remember when you told me, like, no matter how late it was, it didn't matter, you'd come get me if I was too drunk to drive? Well, I need you to come get me, because I was too drunk to drive. There was just no way. There was just no way. But see, we're looking at, I mean, an 18-year-old girl, you know what I mean? Her judgment's not always going to be on point. Like, for people to point fingers at her and put blame on her is not intelligent. It's just not, But, I mean, like, again, some people are just asking questions. It's not that there's nothing wrong with simply asking questions. It's not Annie that's the problem with asking these questions regarding Sami and seeing red flags in certain things. That's not Annie's fault. Okay? How you're taking what Annie is saying, that's your fault, because she hasn't trashed anybody. She hasn't thrown anybody under the bus. She hasn't made any accusations against anybody. She hasn't put out any misinformation. She hasn't done anything unethical when it comes to speculating a missing persons case. Taking the information that's made available to her and then seeing inconsistencies and then asking questions on those inconsistencies. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're in her chat and you take it like, oh my God, Sami is so shady, and oh my God, the police need to interrogate her. They need to put handcuffs on her and interrogate her until she admits to what she did. Well, what did she do? What are you talking about? Like, that's not Annie. That's people in her chat whose wheels start turning because they see something that is considered a red flag, and then their wheels start turning, and then they go, oh my God, she's guilty. Like, no, dude. Like, it shouldn't have to be on us creators to get you to use your common sense. You know what I mean? You're all adults. This is not a channel for children. You're all adults. So for people to attack Annie and be like, oh, they need to shut her down. That poor Sami girl. They need to shut her down. She's not saying anything about Sami. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't made any accusations. She's simply asking questions because she sees certain things are inconsistent, and she wants consistency because she wants to know what happened to Kylie. That's it. You guys log on to her channel to think on these things. That's what you do. Because if you log on to Annie's channel or my channel or any other channel to get the creator to do the thinking for you, you should get off YouTube. Seriously, you should get off the internet altogether. If you're looking to somebody on a social media platform who has a lot of followers to give you the answers and to give you your opinion, well, then there's something seriously wrong with you, because nobody's giving me my opinion but me. Nobody. I mean, you might influence my opinion by giving me facts. Okay. Exactly. And a good professor, I would think in theory, I never went to college, Caleb, but a good professor, I would think in theory, would is they're trying to mold titans, man, people that are going to run the world, that are going to run the country to some degree. Titans of industry. They're trying to mold that in some way, shape, or form. And you don't mold someone like that by instilling ideas in their heads. You get them to come up with their own ideas. I mean, do you think that an inventor, you know what I'm saying? You think that Edison or Tesla or Einstein, that they got to where they were because they took somebody else's opinion as gospel and decided, okay, well, that must be fact? No, they got where they did by questioning everything. Questioning everything. They got to where they did by asking questions, by catching inconsistencies and asking questions on them. That's what somebody of a creative mind does. That's what somebody who gets results does. Okay? So asking questions is not making accusations. Know the difference. Learn some self-awareness skills and realize that it's you making the accusation. Instead of just simply asking questions. Like, that's not on me. Even still, like, I could show you hard evidence of something. Just facts, data, receipts, just blasting my screen. I could do that, and I could tell you what my opinion is, but you're free to have your own opinion in my chat. You're encouraged to. Now, if you go and you look at that and then you say that that doesn't say what it says, I'm going to go, you're stupid. Like, read it. It's right there. Read it. You know what I mean? And try to tell me that what I'm saying isn't true. But I'm saying you don't have to feel the same way about it as I do. Just acknowledge that it's there and that it's fact and that it's proof. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to share the same opinion as I do on the subject. I love questions, dude. And I love people who ask questions. And I love people who want questions asked to them, who question them. Dude, my favorite channel as of late, right? My favorite channel as of late is called the Hannibal and Monty Shit Show, right? Hannibal and Monty, they're hilarious. I think they're father and son. I'm not sure if that's just a joke that they're running or whatever, but I was in their chat the other day. I think it was, I want to say Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, right? And I'm in their chat, and they were talking about things that most YouTubers will absolutely avoid. Which right there, I thought it took balls for them to do that. They were really, really very critical thinkers. And now they have their opinions. Okay. They have their own opinions. And then they brought up the whole, they brought up the whole Trump being raided by the FBI, and that now the Republicans are calling for defunding the FBI. So they played this clip or whatever. And then Hannibal ends up saying, because they have this segment called fair or foul. Is it fair to say this or foul to say this? And they said, and I love that presentation, what that does is that creates dialogue. It's not, it doesn't put out an agenda. It's open to dialogue. Anybody can discuss it, and it almost forces you to be able to do that. And it's just how it's presented. Instead of saying, do you think that this should be this way or this should be that way? That's no. What they say is it fair or foul to say that the same people who were upset at liberals for wanting to defund the police and the FBI now want to defund the police and the FBI, right? And then I simply typed in the chat and I said, well, wait a minute. Did they say both the police or just the FBI? Both the police and the FBI or just the FBI, right? And then Monty pointed it out. Monty was like, hold on, the glare is making a good point. Let's play that clip again. He's like, I love when people ask me questions like this because I want to be fair. I don't want to come off like I have an agenda. And I just absolutely respected the hell out of that. I already respected their channel and how they handle things. And right there, the way that they handled that, I mean, they could have just ignored my comment and kept going and spinning an agenda. I mean, they were discussing politics and they have their political opinions, but no, wait a minute. These are people that believe, these are two people that believe in what they are talking about and what their opinions are with such conviction that they welcome you to challenge them. Right? That's something that you have to respect. So the fact that they approached it that way, I'm dying to do a live stream with these two guys, by the way, because they're just fucking, brilliant. They're hilarious and they're just fun. And they make it okay to talk about anything. So I really enjoyed their channel. So I'm dying to do a live stream with them. But that right there, the way that they handled that gave me so much more respect for them already. I already figured they were, the type of channel that you can ask these kind of questions, and they were going to be cool about it. But they went above and beyond. They were like, wait a minute, I just realized what we sound like. We sound like we have some sort of agenda, and that there is a difference between wanting to just defund the federal law enforcement agency versus all law enforcement agencies, right? So there's a big difference there. I won't get into that. I have my opinions on that. I would prefer to have that discussion with them, actually. But there's a big difference. And I'm not trying to get the chat riled up on this subject. I was just using that as an example as to how critical thinking actually works, how it makes sense to how it's more productive to be someone who asks questions and is receptive also to questions. That your opinion isn't someone expressing their opinion or asking a question about your opinion doesn't mean that you're being attacked. So someone asking a question about something doesn't mean that they're attacking them. Annie asking a question about an inconsistency that she sees in something that somebody is saying, that's not an attack. It's simply a question. But yeah. So guys, this is my 499th stream. Okay? 499th. The next one that I do will be the 500th. And I have not planned anything for it. I kind of want to do something cool for it. You know what I mean? So I'd like to be able to panel up with some creators that I like and just talk about fun shit, just take it easy, maybe try to escape a little from the missing girls and dead people, and you know, I'd like to be able to do that. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But I'm going to try to get something together. And if not, then I'm just going to not make a big deal out of it, just like I do my birthday, which I don't give a shit about. So, um, yeah, Caleb, yeah, man, that's 4 years, man. I've been doing these streams, man, 4 years, almost. Not quite there at 4 years, but almost at 4 years. So yeah. Um, well, see, Buttercup baby, that's the thing, is, you know, there are certain things like uh you can't talk about, like it says so in AdSense. Like I was on my AdSense today, and it said that they're going to demonetize channels that talk about a certain, let's say, conflict that's happening abroad. Um, and so yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't even have an opinion on that, if I'm being honest. But you know, but I do want to be the kind of channel that we can talk about politics and be civil and be okay about it, you know, and you know, within reason. Like, I understand, you know, you can only have so much of a political conversation with me because I'm not a very well educated guy. I just see what I see, and then I have my opinions on what I see, and that's it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to debate politics with Caleb. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to do that, because he's clearly got a higher education than I do, and that's okay. You know, I can have a discussion with somebody, but I'm not going to debate them and talk to them like they don't know as much as I do, because that's just simply not true. But I'm going to absolutely take advantage of engaging in a conversation with somebody as educated as Caleb, so that I can learn, you know, so I can learn a bit of something, especially if it's an opinion that I don't agree with. I remember it was I was talking to my brother. My brother's that one person that just knows how to explain things to me. And he's just easily the smartest person I know. And I was sitting around with him and one of his best friends. And my brother's a conservative. He's a right-leaning libertarian, is what he considers himself. And his friend is a Democrat, right? This was just a few years ago. This was before COVID, Trump, everything. So I was talking about, you know, somebody made a crack about Obama, and you know, and I was just like, what's the problem? I voted for Obama twice. Okay, just so you guys know, I voted for Obama twice. But there's something about that my brother pointed out, and he was just like, dude, man, like, that guy's such a rock star. He's like, nobody can talk like Obama. He's like, the only person that ever came close was Bill Clinton. And I was like, thinking about it. I was like, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, he was, yeah. When Obama was running, it was a phenomenon. Like, it was going to be a landslide. You know, it was absolutely going to be a landslide. The whole country was just on fire for Obama running. I was, you know, but he was like, dude, nobody can talk. And I was like, well, that's what he's supposed to do. He's a politician. He's like, no. He's like, you know, and then we started talking about healthcare, right? And I was like, yeah, now everybody's going to get healthcare or whatever. And he's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. My brother goes, that's what I'm talking about. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, so he's like, everybody was listening to Obama give this speech. I think it was at the State of the Union, and everybody was cheering him, like, yeah, because Obama just got up there and was like, my fellow Americans, every American will have healthcare. Every American will have healthcare. And then, you know, so everybody's like, wow, yeah, right? But he didn't say people took it like free healthcare. People took it like that. I took it like that. every American will have free healthcare. Like when you say every American will have healthcare, I took it like, okay, that means it's going to be that affordable for everyone to be able to have. But no, Obamacare became a thing that was implemented on everyone to where he meant like, you're not going to have a choice. That shit's going to come out of your paycheck, whether you like it or not. And you're going to have healthcare. Whether you can afford healthcare or not, you're going to have it. That's what he meant. But because he's so smooth, like everybody took it like, wow, all right, Obama, man. Yeah. So that's when I started to really pay attention. That's when I woke up and I started to really pay attention to all politicians when they talk, like all of them, right. Became a tax, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's what he did, man. He would pour sugar right into your ear, man. Obama was just, yeah. Really inspiring, really smooth, just a great, great public speaker. And I don't even hate Obama all that much. I still liked him, I still liked him. But, I mean, at the same time, I just wasn't really thinking about anything that really mattered at the time. But I remember listening to him and just liking what he was saying over what anybody else was saying. Like, I didn't like John McCain, I respected John McCain for being a hero, but I just didn't see him being competent enough. And he wasn't saying anything that was impactful enough to get me to actually walk into a voting booth and vote for him. And then I just saw right through the whole Sarah Palin thing. The only reason that John McCain got Sarah Palin to run with him was because Obama was such a rock star, and they were like, oh, well, why is he such a rock star? Oh, well, he has the potential of becoming the first African-American president. Okay, that's amazing. Great. So how do we compete with that? Oh, well, we'll get you a woman running mate, a conservative woman running mate, one that stands by strong Christian values and is pro-life and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, and she's going to be hot, that I saw right through that strategy. And I was just like, yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't like that. You're making me want to vote for Obama out of principle, And yeah, and then she just was stupid. She got up there speaking publicly and she sounded stupid. There's a great movie about that. It's mostly satirical. Like HBO political movies are like that. Like the made for HBO movies. There's one called oh my God. But it's about John McCain and Sarah Palin's campaign. The whole movie's about that. Man, I forgot what it was called, but it's a made for HBO movie. But it was really good. And it was really funny. And it really made Sarah Palin look like even dumber, like Saturday Night Live dumb. But yeah. So yeah, I got my 500th live coming up. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do on it. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything special for it. We'll see. I'm going to try to put something together. It just depends on if people can or cannot do it. But I've got a couple ideas. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, people, don't go blaming somebody for something when you got to look in the mirror yourself as to how you're taking information, man. You know what I mean? Like, just because somebody asks questions and you come up with the answer, an answer that's satisfactory to you, or you jump to the conclusion that that person is implying an answer by asking a question, that's you. That's you. So, like, relax. Seriously, calm down. Like, use your own critical thinking skills. Like, us creators, we're not up here to do your thinking for you. We're up here to provide you with information, share our thoughts, and you guys come up with your own. That's the whole point here. I'm not looking for a chat that's going to say yes to every single thing that I say. Have you noticed most of the ones that I light up, that I highlight, are the ones that seem like they could be challenging to me? You know? I agree, Caleb. No, but I seriously, like, I was definitely a lot more because even still, I consider myself an independent, but I also um I consider myself an independent, but if you had to classify me, I would be a left-leaning libertarian. Uh, I believe in libertarian principles, but at the same time, there are certain things that I find, as far as social issues go, that I definitely lean to on the left. Like, I don't give a shit about gay marriage. Uh, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm not pro-choice because I don't know what it's like to be a woman, so I don't think that I should be dictating what a woman should be doing with her body. Uh, it's just, that's just me. You know, that's just me. So a lot of social issues, I definitely lean to the left. Economic issues, I definitely lean more to the right. But overall, like, issues regarding freedom, oh, I'm definitely libertarian. Uh, Most definitely. Yeah. See, Pat Burnett, I think that's crazy to even, but I like that you at least admit that you're a socialist, Patty Burnett. Patty Barnett, I think that that's brave to even admit that you're a socialist. Um, so you're welcome in my chat, even though I am very much uh anti-socialism. I am, but you know, because I am a proud American and a proud patriot, everyone's political views are welcome in my chat as long as they are not uh blatantly racist. um as long as they're not even remotely racist. If I can tell that they're racist, yeah, you're not going to be welcome here because you're just not going to get along with anybody. There's no room for that type of thinking in our society anymore. So no, uh I don't condone that, and that's not welcome here. But I mean, you're a socialist, you're a communist, you're uh a right-wing conservative, you know, whatever. You know, you're a bleeding heart liberal, tree hugging vegan, whatever. Anything that you love and respect will be respected here. Uh it may not be agreed with, but it is respected. This is America, and you are free as a patriot. I believe that you're free to think and feel however you want to think and feel. You have absolutely that right, and you have absolutely every right to express yourself and express those feelings. Um, Now, it may not be appropriate for the subject that we're talking about in chat, and people might tell you to shut up. But that's the thing is, also, you know, your opinions, if you express them freely here, understand also that they are subject to criticism. Uh, Anything that I say here and putting it out on the internet is subject to criticism. Uh, Anybody who makes a critical or parody video about me, because I put content out, that makes me subject to criticism, parodies, satire. It just does. So, um, yeah. So understand that, you know, this is not a safe place. You're allowed to have your whatever opinions here, but somebody might disagree with you. And if it disrupts my chat too much because it takes away from the subject and it's distracting everyone else, then that's when somebody will do something about it. But other than that, you're free to believe in what you want and express it however you like. Oh, Patty Barnett. That's actually a very valid point. That's a very valid point. She's saying anti-socialist, but your mouth was watering when you thought you'd get free health insurance. Love you back. That is true. That is true. But remember, I have since very much changed how I look at how I view things and what I agree with and what I believe in. And you're right. You do not get to cherry pick uh you know freedoms and things that could be socialist and could not be socialist. So no, I do not believe in free healthcare. I do not believe in college debt relief. I don't believe in any of that shit. I believe if you get yourself in debt, you pay the fucking debt. And I believe that doctors cost money. I believe that hospitals cost money. I believe that medicines cost money. So no, I don't think that anybody is entitled to free healthcare. There was a time where I did because I was an entitled piece of shit. I'm no longer an entitled piece of shit. I've reformed proudly. And so I don't get to reform proudly without making some sacrifices as far as what I think I'm entitled to and what I'm not. If I don't feel entitled, well, then guess what? I'm not entitled to anything. Ever. Neither are you. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it. I love you very, very much. Please take a second and light up that thumb on the outside. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up. It'll really help me out a lot. And I love you guys again very, very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.